Hey guys, Dan Williams from Range of Motion. Just wanted to jump on today and talk about how to identify and market to your ideal client. How to establish who it is that you are best positioned to help in your business, and how to actually reach that person. I want to start this off with a bit of a mistake that we see a lot of people make. The mistake a lot of people make in their marketing is that they should be beginning at the end. Instead, they begin at the start. Let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of people with their marketing work out the service they're going to provide. They work out the product that they sell. They work out their pricing and their discounts and their membership options. And what they forget is the person that they're actually trying to help. That's the end of the process, or so they think. They think that they should come up with a great idea, they should come up with a great product and then say, hey guys, I've got this great idea, I've got this great product, who wants to buy it? And of course, there's no reply, there's no response. And by this point, it's too late. Whereas what you should be doing is you should be identifying who you are trying to help. You should begin with that. You should begin with identifying the avatar, which I'm going to talk about today. Start with who you're trying to help. Then take a step back and work out what their problems are. Then take a further step back and work out how you can solve their problems. And by starting at the end and working your way backwards, instead of creating a product or a service and then looking for someone to buy it, you are looking for the person to buy it, then creating them a product or service. So this is a really important concept, guys, when you're looking at how to create any sort of marketing product, any sort of focused marketing effort. Work out who you're trying to help, work out what they need help with, and then help them. It shouldn't be focused on the action. So all your marketing shouldn't be focused on this is what we do, this is the class we run, this is the product we sell. Instead, it should be focused on this is the outcome. So a lot of the time I'll jump on people's websites, maybe people I'm working with through Range of Motion Business Mentoring. I'll jump on people's websites and that front page, the cover page, the landing page of their website says something like 30 classes a week, amazing equipment, 1,000 square meters of floor space. And all of this stuff is good, but these are features. These are not the end result. What people want to see is the result they're getting. So what you need to sell to people is not how you're going to get there. It's not the fact that you have the best personal trainers, that you offer the best supplements, that you have the best facility. What you need to sell is the end result. You need to say, we are best at getting you to, and then of course that's where their problem comes in. That thing that keeps people awake at night. If you become the best at solving that problem, then that's all the marketing that you need to do. So identifying your avatar, identifying who it actually is that you are looking to help, becomes about getting the correct message in front of the correct person in the correct way. And those are the three key elements here. What is the message? Who is the person that you are portraying that message to? And what is the best way to reach that client? What's the best way to reach that avatar? So let me tell you how to come up. This is just a real sort of quick and dirty way that you can identify who your ideal client is. If you're watching this, I'd like you to think of someone, maybe it's a personal training client, maybe it's a client in your business, someone who comes to your classes. I want you to think of someone who is your ideal client. They are your favorite person. They're good to work with. The sort of person that if you just had 20 more people like them, your business would be set. Think of that person. You've probably got one or two people in mind. Let me tell you something about this person or these people that you're thinking of. If you bring out a new product, they are the first person to buy it. If you run some sort of referral or bring a friend for free sort of promo, they are going to be the first person to bring a friend. If you bring out a new t-shirt, they will be the first person to buy a t-shirt, and they'll probably buy a second pair, a second t-shirt, so when one's dirty, they've got the other one to wear. If you're running social events, they are always the first to buy their tickets. They're the first on the dance floor at all the social events you're running. These are the people that you enjoy working with. They help your bottom line. They share your material on social media. These are the people around whom you can build a business. And this is a concept I've talked about before in a video that I shot for you guys on how to create a referral reward system. So these are the people that you want to be able to build your business around. The people who are your ideal client. This is your avatar. Now, you can have somewhere from 2 to 4 avatars. So your avatar is just that perfect client, that ideal client. You can have 2 to 4 avatars. a lot of people here make the mistake when I say to them, all right, so who do you help? Who is the target demographic? Who's the avatar? Who is your ideal client? And they say, well, we can help everyone. We have nutritional knowledge and we can help you with hypertrophy and sports performance and injury rehab and helping with chronic disease. And they cast the net so wide and they're so general in what they're doing and they're so broad in what they're doing that they actually end up not solving the unique problems of their clients, because the problems that they are claiming to solve, these problems are not specific enough. You need to find specific problems. So although niching down a little bit and finding more of a specific, more of a narrow avatar, although this means that you won't be reaching as many people, maybe you're looking at 1,000 people instead of 10,000 people, what you will find is you can serve these people better and therefore your client retention will be better. If you're able to help people with their individual and unique problems, you can help them much more. So that's key, identifying these avatars. So guys, what I would like to do is take you through a bit of a mock sort of avatar exercise where I'll tell you the key factors, the key criteria, the key things that I would be looking at when creating an avatar for my business, and we'll talk a little bit about how I would market to this specific avatar. So you want to start off pretty generally with knowing what this person is like. Now, a big important thing here is to actually have a picture of this person. Now, this doesn't mean that you get a picture of Jane, who's your ideal client at your gym, or who's your ideal PT client. You don't get a picture of her. This is a picture of a fictional person that you find out with some 40-year-old woman Google search, okay? Just a plain, this is the person we're talking to. So start with that picture. So when you're then creating your marketing message, it's something you can definitely help with. I'm going to show you here up on my glass board. You may not be able to see this very well, but where's my finger? Just here, just above my finger there, I have a picture of the four most boring plain people you can imagine. A 20-year-old guy, a 20-year-old girl, a 50-year-old guy, a 50-year-old girl. So I can look up to these people, and when I'm creating marketing material for Range of Motion, I think to myself, am I using language that these guys understand? Am I speaking to them? So start with a picture, and you need to give them a name. So let's do sort of a mock exercise here. I'm going to call our avatar Mary. Let's go into some of the demographics of Mary. So Mary is 50, she's a female, she's Generation X. So we're starting to get a little bit of an idea of the sort of criteria, the demographics, which will help us with some marketing later. What's her relationship status? Well, she's married and she's got 2 kids. So that covers the relationships. Then we can go down into dwelling. So where does she live? So Mary, for example, for this avatar is going to live in maybe some of the more wealthy suburbs. Suburbs like Claremont, Nedlands, Peppermint Grove, Mosman Park. She has a big house, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a large backyard. We're starting to paint a picture of who Mary is and starting to get some information about her. Talk about the work. What does she do for work? Well, she's a stay-at-home mum, because remember, she's got these 2 young kids. She does a small amount of work, volunteering with the school, helping with kids' sport and that sort of stuff. Job title, well, she's a mum. Her annual income, she doesn't actually earn any money herself, but her husband works full-time and he brings in about $150,000 a year. So again, starting to paint a little bit of a picture, getting inside the head of our avatar. Then you move on to education, and all of this is really useful for social media marketing as well, which I'll talk about as we go. So we move on to the education. Her level of education is tertiary, which again is another area that we can niche down on when we're doing some Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing. Start to move on to some personal factors. So some of her values and things. So what does she value? Well, she values her family, she values loyalty, inclusivity, she really values her friends, and she doesn't mind paying a little bit more for good quality goods and services. So she has that eye for quality. Her personality traits, she's caring, she's generous, she's got that sort of mothering character, but she can be a little bit anxious and a little uncomfortable with change, which is maybe something that we would have to overcome. Hobbies and interests: she likes going to the gym, she likes yoga, walking the dog, and is pretty heavily involved, as I said, in her kids' sports and her kids' social activities. Her downtime behaviors: so when she's having some time to herself, she likes to enjoy her friends, socializing with friends, spending time with them. Again, just starting to paint a picture of who this person is. Her spending habits: what does she spend her money on, is another question we need to ask, because of course we want her spending money on our product and our service in exchange for some value that we can provide to her. So again, as I've mentioned, she would rather spend her money on quality products and services. She spends a lot of money on her kids, on her social life, and on her own health, which is good considering that we are there to help her with her health. An important factor we can move on to now is content consumption. Where does she get her information? Where is her attention? Because if we know where her attention is, if she's looking here, then this is where we put our marketing message. So you can go into a lot of detail with this, and the more detail you go into, the better a picture we start to get of how to best put our message in front of her. So look at things like magazines: what books does she read? What series does she watch on Netflix? Are there certain blogs that she reads, websites that she visits all the time, podcasts that she enjoys listening to, any sort of gurus, any sort of industry leaders in certain areas that she really respects? That industry leaders, that gurus area there is really important for a strategy called stealing your competitors' clients, which isn't as nasty as it sounds, but it's basically where you create a Facebook ad, and when you're selecting the interests of that person, maybe you select Michelle Bridges' 8-week body transformation challenge sort of thing. And then you can show your message to everyone who likes pages related to Michelle Bridges, which is handy if you've identified that your client is someone who looks up to, associates, consumes material from that person. You want to find out what sort of social media usage patterns they have. So with Mary, with our sample avatar here, she's very active on Facebook. She's pretty active on Instagram, but probably doesn't use like Facebook and Instagram stories as much because it's a generational thing. She has an account with some other social media networks and stuff, but she doesn't really use it. So mainly just the feeds in Facebook and Insta is where we would start to attack or get our message in front of her. We want to look at her level of knowledge. Now, this is really important. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. This is probably one for another day. This is something that we'll be covering at the Fitness Pro PD event in October. But the level of knowledge of that person is super important, because if we know that they know something about themselves, about a product, about services available, we can tailor a message to different people. So we want to know their level of knowledge of your product or service. This is probably the most important element for your social media advertising. There are basically 5 different levels we have. So if you're taking notes, this is the important bit. The first level is that someone is unaware that they have a problem. So they don't even know that they're unhealthy. The second level of awareness would be someone who knows they have a problem. Yes, I know I'm unhealthy. I have osteoporosis, hyperlipidemia, I'm overweight, I'm suffering from anxiety and depression, but I don't know that there's a solution out there. This is it. This is me. The third level of awareness, as we start to become more aware, is people who are aware of the solution, but not aware of you. So these are people who would know that, yes, I have a problem. Yes, it can be solved. Yes, exercise, for example, is the solution to that problem, but they don't know about your business. They don't know about my business. They don't know about range of motion. They don't know that I'm the person to come and see. The next level of awareness is someone who knows they have a problem. They know that a solution exists. And they also know that you are someone potentially who could provide that solution. Maybe they're not completely solved yet, but they know that you offer a solution which could solve their problem. And finally, that 5th level of awareness is people who are most aware. These are the people who are true fans of your product or service. These are your raving fans. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about this, there's a great article called, I think it's 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly, which is just a really good expose on the fact that if you have 1,000 people who will continue to buy your t-shirt, that's all you need to build a wildly profitable business. So a little good extra read for you there. You want to look at your avatar in terms of what they're planning to do in the future. What are their financial and career goals? So Mary, our sample avatar, would be interested in getting back into work part-time, maybe when the kids are a little bit older, into high school. What are her family and relationship goals? Well, she's got her 20th wedding anniversary coming up. She wants to continue to support her husband. She wants to continue to support her kids. What are her health goals? She knows she has a family history of Alzheimer's, which her mum had, and heart disease, which killed her dad. And she's a bit scared that she's going to go down one of these paths or both of these paths. So a bit of a pain point there that maybe we can help her overcome. So she wants to do everything in her power to make sure she's overcoming and starting to reduce the chance of suffering from chronic disease. What are her personal goals? Well, she just wants to have a good circle of friends in a supportive environment. She wants to get more involved in the social activities at school, helping the kids. But she realizes that she needs something for herself, because everything for Mary has been give. She's running on empty. Sometimes she just needs to look after herself. And again, this is a niche that we can help her fill. So that tells us a lot about this avatar. We need to get down to the problem she's having, because in the end, our job is to solve problems. There's an exchange of money, there's an exchange of time, an exchange of resources, where Mary will pay me to solve her problems. So what are her problems? Firstly, the challenges and pain points, the problems that actually need solving. So she needs to learn how to build healthy habits because she's not sticking with the exercise she's doing. She needs to lose some weight. She needs some help cutting through that massive information where you just get so much content, so much information. I don't know what to believe. She wants to know how to prevent chronic disease. So those are her pain points. They are the things that keep her up at night. We then need to ask, what would happen if these pain points weren't overcome? What would happen if she couldn't build these healthy habits? If she couldn't lose the weight? What would happen if there was no one there to guide her through this chronic misinformation in the health and fitness industry? What would happen is that her habits would be inconsistent, they'd be ineffective, you'd get this gradual spiraling of her health. She wouldn't be able to support her family, which we know is one of her core values, and she won't be around to see her grandkids in the future. Then we say, well, what would happen if these pain points were overcome? Well, she gets her long-term health, she gets long-term happiness. And then the final question that we need to ask here around these pain points, around her problems and around the solutions is, what is the perfect solution to her problem? What is going to fix her problem? And that key element there is how you create a product or service. And this is why this avatar exercise is so effective. We know that Mary needs someone who can take her under their wing, teach her what exercise she should be doing, teach her some factors that'll help her to build some positive habits, teach her how to eat better. She needs strong initially with accountability, but in the longer term, she needs this guidance on how to build some healthy habits. If those are her problems and we've just created her solutions, that is what you should be selling. That is your product or service. And just like I kicked this off at the top with, we are not trying to sell her the process. We're not trying to sell her a class or the best bathrooms or facility or equipment or the most qualified coaches and the best programming. We are trying to sell her a solution to her problems. We need to look at the purchasing decision. Who makes the choice? What may her objections to that purchasing process be? So you can address these in your marketing message. What's her role in the purchasing choice or decision? Is her husband making some of that decision? Is it all her? So this is how you identify the avatars for your business. And again, we've gone into a little bit of detail here on some of the questions that you can ask. I do have a worksheet on this as well, guys. So if you're interested and you would like that worksheet, just drop a comment below and I will send you that worksheet so you can go through this process yourself. Again, we've gone through this pretty quickly today. This is one of the modules that we will be running at the 2019 Perth Fitness Industry Professional Development Weekend, where I'll actually hold your hand through the process of you creating your avatars. Then, of course, this is only the beginning. This is knowing who we're going to help. Of course, then we need to work out how to get that message in front of people. That's one for another day, and that is what we'll be covering, again, in a lot more detail at the Perth Fitness Industry Professional Development Weekend. Guys, that is coming up in October. If you are interested, there are tickets available. You can learn more, rangeofmotion.net.au/ PD. Very simple. PD for professional development. rangeofmotion.net.au/PD. Guys, if you're able to take some value from the stuff that I'm giving you here, I can promise you that the PD weekend will be a mind explosion. It will be a massive learning experience for you, where you will be learning modules on fitness, on business, as we've talked about and covered today. So if you're interested, we also do have payment plans available. If you have any questions, drop me a comment below. All right, guys, I hope this has been of use to you. Hope it's given you some value. I hope it gives you a better idea of how to craft and create a product or service based around your ideal avatar. Any questions, post them below. Otherwise, I will speak with you again soon. Have a great weekend. See ya.